I thought I was making a film. We're going to put it out, and there's going to be a result. As simple as that.
It was a mixed kind of a review, if I am not
Oh,
wrong.
mostly negative only. Like one huge wave, like a tsunami of negativity was coming towards us. Both me and my co-actor. Maybe Liger also. They have like massive expectations. They know it's going to do massive numbers and everything. And suddenly I looked here. I had a double take kind of reaction because my dad was silently crying.
Hi Anand garu.
Hello. how are you?
Welcome to Film Companion South.
Thank you so much.
మాకు మీ మూవీస్ చూసాక నాకు ఐ టాక్ అబౌట్ మీ పర్సనలీ మీ మూవీస్ చూసాక ఐ సమ్హౌ ఫెల్ట్ లైక్ యూ బ్రాడ్ బ్యాక్ ద లాస్ట్ తెలుగు కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లేవర్
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
And as soon as I know Anand, it's like a believability ante I can believe what you're doing.
Okay.
So that is what I feel about
Yeah.
it. It's really hard to convince someone.
Yeah.
And huge fan of your movies.
Thank you so much.
So ఇప్పుడు now that we're talking about believability, how do you do that? Ante is there any technique that you follow? Ante usually kontamandi method acting antaru, adantaru idantaru, but what is your method?
No, I don't go too fine. I think that's just like some added pressure to, and I'm not even that experienced to have some method process. I think it's just a collaborative effort between the director and the actor and just figuring it out. I think particularly it's between the lines, like what is in the script. If it's already believable, then the characters are believable. It's not just me, right? Everyone in the film is. Like if you're watching Pushpak Vimanam per se, you're seeing like Naresh Garu as the principal, and then me and him having that equation between the two of us and everything. Same thing with Middle Class Melodies. In fact, the producers of that film wanted us to cast some bigger actors for the father, or
Okay.
they were, but the director was so convinced that it needs to be someone
Yeah.
like next door, someone
Yeah.
who is not
Yeah.
known to the audience as much, but who can still like perform. And that's why me and Ramna Garu actually look like father son sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the believable. If you make every element, the production design, the camera, everything, then you just have to sit into it, ante. You don't have to overdo it, right?
Yeah. So script గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు కాబట్టి you've done these movies, ఇన్ని మూవీస్ చేశారు కదా, do you judge it అంటే in between, do you know where you're going అంటే, or do you as an audience will you be able to judge the movie as in
I'll be honest and tell you, I'm terrible at objectivity.
okay.
Like to look at something and know that this will work in the theaters, I'm terrible at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I watch some other actor's film as a preview, they call me to the edit suite and say, hey, tell me if this will work. I cannot.
Oh, not only yours but a movie.
ఏ మూవీ అయినా థియేటర్ అంటే ఐ నో ఫ్యూ మూమెంట్స్ మేబీ ఈ
Okay.
మూమెంట్ సూపర్ ఉంది, దీనికి విజిల్స్ పడతాయి అని అనిపిస్తుంది.
Yeah.
యాజ్ అ హోల్ లైక్ విల్ ఇట్ వర్క్ ఇన్ ద థియేటర్స్ అనేది ఇంకా అది తెలీదు. ఐ డోంట్ నో వై, బికాస్ మేబీ ఐవ్ వాచ్డ్ వేరియస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సినిమా అండ్ ఐ లవ్ సమ్ సినిమా దట్ హ్యాస్ బిన్ వర్క్డ్ ఇన్ ద థియేటర్స్. సో that irony is there, and it's very hard. That objectivity. Now I'm shooting for Baby and we are aiming for theaters. I'm super confident of the content that's coming out. I'm very happy with the writing, the performances, the music, but I'm looking forward to what people will think of it. I don't know objectively what will happen in the theaters.
Maybe మంచిదేనేమో అది in a way.
మంచిదే.
Yeah.
కాదు.
You'll have less stress కదా అంటే just leaving it on the audience.
Yeah, just leave it. That's better, I think. Too much expectations పెట్టుకొని ఇది ట్రేడ్ అది ఇది అనుకుంటే it's very stressful actually.
So highway.
Yeah.
As soon as we title వినగానే we recall the Imtiaz Ali's highway.
Okay.
But weren't you all scared that ఆ టైటిల్ వల్ల ఏమైనా అటు ఇటు అవుతుందా అని? I know it's apt for the script,
Yeah.
but what made you all to lock it anyways?
That thought was never there in our minds.
So first నుంచి it was highway.
It was always highway. It was always highway. I think the thing is, it's a completely different genre, right? And the audience that we are targeting is also completely different. I don't know how many, like maybe lots of cinema lovers would have watched Highway like us.
Yeah.
but maybe the ground, like so many of
Yeah.
the subscribers of AHA may have not watched Highway yet.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a concern. It was more suitable for, because this is a road film or road thriller that's happening on the highway within like 36 to 40 hours. So I think it was perfect. Yeah.
So because it's in the forest and all, I think it'll be more of natural anta lighting and sounds. Mostly sounds important ఉంటుందేమో కదా ఇట్లాంటి.
Yeah, we mostly shot with a small crew.
Okay.
With limited lights and everything. Only for some sequences we had like those normal, the cinema lights that you have. I think they call them M40s and all of those stuff. But if I was driving on the car, they never blocked a whole highway for me to drive on it and act and all. It was trucks were passing by me or people were walking against, and there was like a vacuum base or a rig on the. So it was mostly guerrilla, and the director never had the monitor. He would come run after the whole shot was done, and he would ask me, "Are you confident about the shot?" and then look at the monitor. So it was shot very like on the road, realistically with very limited lighting. So that way also it's very experimental. It was a nice learning thing for me.
So Dorasani time though, there were a lot of positives and negatives.
Yeah,
Positive.
definitely.
It was a mixed kind of a review, if I am not wrong.
Mostly negative only.
Okay. Okay. But how did you take it? Because that being your very first movie, what was your state of mind, as soon as you read a negative thing or something? And did you take it to your mind, or did you just leave it to that?
Initially, definitely, because I never knew what to expect, first of all, right? I thought I was making a film, we're going to put it out, and there's going to be a result. As simple as that.
It was simple in your brain.
It was simple in my mind. Like while I was shooting it, I was enjoying it. I loved my team, I loved my co-stars and everything. We released one poster, and suddenly this whole like one huge wave, like a tsunami of negativity was coming towards us, both me and my co-actor. And suddenly I was like, what? We put in so much for this film, like genuinely wanted to do something. Like maybe it was towards the art kind of film, because it was periodic, Telangana, a niche kind of audience and everything. But then we saw this whole thing and I was like, whoa, okay, this is what I'm going to see. It was a jolt, definitely. But then that's good, right? You know what's coming next. You know what to prepare. But then you see, like when Middle Class Melodies came and the film was actually good and it convinced so many people, you barely saw that. So it's just how the internet works, I guess.
Yeah, that plays a major part now after a movie releases.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the last 2 days that you see the major actors of Telugu, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can sit at home. Maybe it's a lot of bots and internet kind of stuff. I don't know, but there must be actual people sitting and creating wild comments and all. I don't understand what their life is about. So it's not worth it. I'm not on internet as much, so.
Yeah, I see you're not much active. Instagram కూడా పెట్టాలని పెడతారు కదా.
Yeah, ఏదో అంటే తర్వాత సినిమా రిలీజ్ అప్పుడు అవసరమవుతుందని అప్పుడు ఏదో ఒకటి పెట్టాల్సి వస్తుంది. లేకపోతే like if I'm in a place, I never think, oh, this is a nice capture for Instagram. I never think that way. So I think it's bad. If you're in the public life, you should be game for that.
Yeah, well, maybe that's working for you, Gada.
Maybe.
Yeah. So coming back to Highway, can I say you'll revealed the killer and that was done intentionally, or is there something else in store for us, or?
It's tricky. Like, see, definitely it would have been nice to just keep the killer under wraps kind of thing, but that was never part of the screenplay.
Okay.
See, that would have been an added kind of reveal sort of thing, and so that people could say, oh, this happened. That kind of moment we're not giving to the audience because it's more of a cat and mouse game. Like if you watched No Country for Old Men, you know from the trailer itself that Javier Bardem is a psycho. He's going on with this vacuum kind of gun that he's made, and he's killing people, even the shopkeeper, that old man. So but you're still scared.
Yeah.
You're still scared of that guy.
Yeah.
What is he going to do next? Oh, I hope he doesn't kill this guy. That kind of thing is going on. So we were aiming for that. I don't know how much of it we were able to achieve. We were aiming for that. So it was never about who is the killer. It was about what is the killer going to do next. That was what we were going for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the kind of scripts you choose are very grounded, you know. It's like everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's not like larger than life characters where you take time to believe that he's that person. So is this something you're doing it on purpose, or those are the scripts that are coming, or you know what's going on? I mean, we love the movies, we love the scripts.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to know.
Like what is happening in my mind while.
Yeah. And
It's just it's mostly happened organically, naturally.
Okay.
Like middle class melodies, I think, was one of the biggest contributing factors to so many of these directors reaching out to me.
Yeah.
They saw that film and they were like, oh, I think I was looking out for this guy for this script. So Srujan reached out to me for Pushpak Vimanam, and then Sai Rajesh Garu reached out to me for Baby. This actually happened in between because of COVID and everything. Highway happened suddenly. But then I had agreed by then Baby and Gum Gum Ganesha. In Baby, I play an auto driver from Hyderabad Bastis. So that's actually again grounded. It's completely shot realistically.
Yeah.
Those guys really, I think middle class melodies and that whole world brought so much of this to me. Maybe a little away is Gum Gum Ganesha.
Action.
It's in that again, I'm not like, you know, romancing heroines and there's a villain to fight against. It's everyone's grey in that.
I was about to ask, you know, you're always being this good guy in the movies, na?
Yeah.
So, can we see you in a grey shade is what I wanted to ask you next.
I'm in a grey shade, but a
Good grey.
like comic grey kind of thing.
Okay.
He's just a stupid grey, right? He doesn't know what he is, that kind of thing. He thinks he's heroic, but he isn't. So
Okay.
there's lots of comedy situations out of it, and also there's that crime and action around it. So it's really interesting. Now the strike is going on, so we're not able to shoot it.
Yeah.
But hopefully soon.
You have a fair idea about, you know, all these marketing things, and you have like basic idea, sort of, yeah? So about this digital era, you know, just tell me, because you've seen a lot of good things on the digital because of your movie there. So idi kuda ippudu it's coming on AHA. So what's your take on the digital thing that's blooming up, you know, lately?
I think it's definitely good. There's no going back on this, right? It's really nice to have something to put out your content on, and it can directly reach the audience, right? In that way, it's really good. The only thing as filmmakers that you are apprehensive about is, say I made, for example, middle class melodies, or where the content you place the audience in a particular world. The only apprehension that we have as filmmakers is someone pauses it, gets out of that world, and then comes back to it, right? Yeah. But then again, for the audience, that's probably like, not as a filmmaker, but as an audience, it's really convenient, and that kind of stuff is there. So it's really nice. But I think it's not like they're killing theaters. The recent successes of so many movies tells you that theaters are here to stay. People are really craving it. When I watched Sitaramam in the theaters, I was having goosebumps. When I was watching Top Gun, I was like, whoa, like that whole experience of watching it was amazing. Even though Top Gun is not driven by plot, it's driven by experience. And that was like amazing. But the smaller films, I think, or the niche kind of films, the art kind of films, can definitely find a nice spot on. Because so many, like, I go looking out for content that, and you watch, and when you go looking out for content, it's more likely that you won't pause because you're putting so much interest into it. If you're just dinner అప్పుడు ఏదైనా చూద్దాం రా అంటే ఏదైనా పెట్టి ఊకే పాజ్ చేసి మళ్ళీ పెట్టుకొని మళ్ళీ వచ్చి కూర్చుంటాం. అది వేరే ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్.
But when you're saying, I can, relate in a way, because, when I watch movie and something's really heavy, I'm not able to take it. I know what's happening next and I don't want to watch it. I pause for a minute and, think, oh, ఏమవుతుంది ఇప్పుడు. I really don't want to watch, but I want to watch.
Right.
That is when I usually give pauses.
Like one example is like my parents were like, my mom especially, she doesn't watch too much cinema apart from ours.
Oh,
She's not too much into what's happening, let me go watch this film in the theater, that kind of person she isn't. Suddenly I told mummy, Gangubai is on Netflix, let's watch it. She wasn't even geared up for like 3 hours of sitting in front of TV and watching.
Yeah.
And I hadn't watched Gangubai. I said, mummy, I just pulled her down, sat her down and made her
yeah.
but then something about that film, not once did we pause, not once did we take a bathroom break even. We were
Yeah.
so it can make a person sit down. Like good cinema on OTT can make a person sit down. If it's sort of like average content, then like some people I think even watch it on fast forward, right?
Yeah, songs just they forward.
So that is also there. So it's for the audience. You choose what you want to do. You have your experience. Do what you want. Theater lo adi undadu.
Yeah. So what's the latest that you watched? I mean, last.
In theater, Sitaramam. I haven't gotten the chance to watch Kartikeya. Sitaramam I loved. More than the plot, I loved like the charm of the two actors.
Yeah.
And the music and the visuals I loved. The music, I think more than listening to it on YouTube or in the car in Tandam or anything, when it was in the theater with that whole flow, it was so much nicer. And for me, it gave me confidence that something like a baby, right? Baby is also a grounded like love drama. It gave us the confidence that if we have good content, I think we can sell it in the theaters. Till now, there was no romantic film in the last, I think, 1.5 years. Even like Jatiratnalu, DJ Tillu and all worked, but they are comedy films.
Yeah.
Maybe Uppana did, but it's a little more like
Intense.
Yeah, it's quite intense with action and all of that also, right? It's geared up for the commercial film. This was more like a Maniratnam-esque film, right? And that worked. So I liked that a lot. I'm watching this series called Blackbird.
Okay.
So I think I like that also. I like Mindhunter, these thriller kind of films I like. Blackbird is really nice.
So from of all the movies you've done, was there any role or any moment in the while you're shooting that was too heavy for you to act? I'll give you an example. While I was watching Ante Sundaraniki, and the whole movie was, I was watching it, but in between, when the grandmother gives Naresh money, to give him, buy him a car or something, that was really moving. I couldn't move a bit.
Okay.
So was there anything for you like that, in your performances where you were like too overwhelmed to do anything the next, after that?
So I can't talk about my future because you have no point of reference.
Yeah.
But I've already done it on set and that moved me a lot.
Okay.
Maybe you'll know it or we can talk about it later. But maybe from Middle Class Melodies, the moment like I have my tiffin center, it's not working out. My parents come to the tiffin center and they want to, support me, like my mom.
Yeah.
And I sit my father down and I'm like out of force, ఇది ట్రై చేయి నాన్న అని చెప్తా కదా.
Yeah.
ఇప్పుడు కూర్చోబెట్టి మా నాన్న ఆ మూమెంట్ సినిమాటిక్లీ ఇస్ సో లైక్ ఐ ఆల్వేస్ లవ్ వాచింగ్ దట్ మూమెంట్ బికాస్ like my reaction and my father's reaction, it's not a full like it's not even that. It's just that little he doesn't want to show his love. It's that closed out love. I think a lot of fathers are like that. They're proud of their children, but they don't always necessarily show it. Because I've seen my dad especially when Geeta Govindam appudu Chiranjeevi garu stage మీద మాట్లాడుతున్నా అనుకుంటా విజయ్ గురించి. నేను క్యాజువల్గా మేము పోలేదు ఆ ఈవెంట్కి అనుకుంటా. నేను డాడీ మమ్మీ వీఆర్ సిట్టింగ్ అట్ హోమ్ అండ్ వాచింగ్ ఇట్ లైవ్ ఆన్ వాట్ ఎవర్. వీఆర్ వాచింగ్ ఇట్ అండ్ సడన్లీ వన్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ ఈవెంట్స్ ఐఎమ్ గెటింగ్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్డ్ బట్ దెన్ ఐ వాజ్ లైక్ ఎంజాయింగ్ ఇట్. ఐ వాజ్ లైక్ సో ప్రౌడ్ ఆఫ్ మై బ్రదర్. I hadn't done any cinema
Yeah.
then. And then suddenly I looked here, I had a double take kind of reaction because my dad was silently crying.
Oh.
Then I was like, he's not even like holding my hand or holding
Yeah.
my mom's
Yeah.
hand
Yeah.
and saying, hey. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like holding it. So it's really nice, dads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Industryలో it's very difficult to make your own path, and I'm sure you're doing it great and you're creating a path for yourself and making a mark. I'm really telling that, I mean it. But is it pressure ఉంటుందా?
ఓ మస్తు ఉంటుంది.
ఉంటుందా?
మస్తు ఉంటుంది.
More than I can imagine.
మామూలుగా ఉండదు. This is probably like the highest stakes. Like like these films that I am doing is still hard. Make or break, it's fine. But suddenly you see a Liger, and the thing is, when you're releasing a film, like even when I went through it during Pushpak Vimanam, and I had a lot of realization through that. Because Dorasani, I was too naive. I hadn't had any like experience, nothing. Middle Class Melodies was on OTT. I knew it was a good film. I was just waiting to see the kind of reaction, and there was no trade. We had gotten the money and everything. Pushpak Vimanam, we had expectations. What is going to happen? What is it going to... So all that...
Jitters.
So suddenly around the release, with these promotions, talking to people, without you knowing it, you feel like you are the center of the world.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's... I'm sure like every actor goes through it. And you're living in this foggy world. Your brain is like all around yourself, your film, and nothing else. And now like maybe Liger also, they have like massive expectations. They know it's going to do massive numbers and everything. So that pressure, imagine the pressure that's there and everything. And also you're talking about crores, just casually. When you're talking about like a normal other job,
Yeah.
I won't say normal job. When you're talking, you never reference to crores normally.
Yeah.
You never say, hey, these many crores.
Yeah.
But when it comes to cinema, the most layman, some guy maybe in the interiors of Telangana, some guy in Rajahmundry somewhere will be saying, ఇది ఎన్ని కోట్లు చేసింది అయాచే అంటాడు. కోట్ల గురించి జస్ట్
తీసి పడేస్తారు.
ఉత్తుత్ మాటలు లేకపోతే తీసి పడేస్తారు. ఆర్ ఈ సినిమా ఎన్ని కోట్లు చేసిందా, ఈ సినిమా ఎన్ని కోట్లు చేసిందా అనేది ఇట్స్ నాట్. సో ద స్టేక్స్ ఆర్ హ్యూజ్, మ్యాసివ్. And every actor goes through it. Yeah, it's a tough place to be in, definitely.
And I recently spoke with Manchu Lakshmi.
Okay.
And I asked her a question. I said, usually industry ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఒక బబుల్లో ఉంటారు. I asked her, correct me if I'm wrong అని చెప్పి I asked her, ఉంటారా, will they actually get to hear the common man's voice? And
Okay.
she said, I can hear it very clearly, and she told.
Okay.
But how about you?
It's tricky.
But is it true that ఒక బబుల్లో ఉంటారా ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఉంటే?
You can be. You can be, and if you're receptive to and you're open to outside world and comments and feedback, then it's nice. But sometimes I think you lose track. Sometimes, especially if you grow up within the industry, then I think it can also happen that you have only yes men around you, and
Yeah.
that can happen because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so that can happen, right? But then I think a lot of these actors who have grown up within the industry are receptive. They also are very smart. But then like there are a lot of other actors who are not, and the world is centered. So that kind of bubble is definitely there. Yeah.
శివాత్మిక దొరసానిలో, ఓకే, వర్ష మిడిల్ క్లాస్ మెలడీస్ లో అండ్ సాన్వి పుష్పక విమానంలో, ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఆల్ తెలుగు హీరోయిన్స్ ఉన్నారు. వర్ష, బట్ షీ స్పోక్ అండ్ షీ డబ్డ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్
she speaks good Telugu.
I know. సో ఈ మూవీలో వచ్చేసరికి కొంచెం
దీంట్లో అన్ని డైలాగులు లేవు.
అవునా?
దీంట్లో actually it was tricky. We were rooting for someone who is from Telugu. We were searching for a long time.
Do you intentionally want Telugu actors?
I think it's a lot easier to work when you're doing these kind of films.
True, yeah.
Different commercials in maki different ball game gaవచ్చు. I don't know the experience. I don't know how it works. the next film I'm working with Vaishnavi Chaitanya. She grew up in Chandrayan Gutta. I
Okay.
grew up in Sarod Nagar. So
Yeah.
so we are very like close
Yeah,
in
yeah.
regional. And like Baby, Middle Class Melodies, Dorasani, it's all dialogue drama. It's all conversations.
Yeah.
And when you can talk to someone who speaks the language, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
True.
especially now with Vaishnavi, we are having so much fun on set because uh, Saira Garu is from Andhra.
Yeah.
He writes his stuff a little in like the bookish kind of
Yeah,
Telugu
yeah.
because he's very knowledgeable with Telugu. But then the characters are from Bastis in Telangana, so we make it our own. Me and
You speak
Vaishnavi.
Telangana finally?
Yeah, I speak Telangana only.
No, అంటే సినిమాలో.
Sinmalo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm speaking that Telangana, so it comes naturally to me. Vaishnavi is always playing around with it, so it's nice. I'm definitely in Gam Gam Ganesha. It's mostly grey men. Mostly all the men are very grey. There's only one positive female character in the film.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So,
it's nice to
Are
have.
you interested in commercial cinema or are you happy with in the place
See, I
you
think
are?
all kinds of good cinema is commercial in a way. If you're talking about like the song dance kind of films, then I'm doing dance actually in Baby. So
Okay.
there's a whole dance sequence and but it's still grounded. It's still real. It's still natural sequences. It's not a set song. But I think like a domino effect, if one of these works in the theater, then those will definitely happen. And I think it's nice. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think people love it. If I can pull it off, why not?
సో నేను ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్లో మిమ్మల్ని కలుస్తున్నాను, మీకు ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయి అంటే నాకు పెట్టండి అని ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్లో పెట్టాను. సో
Pettinda?
yeah, they asked, a few people asked. So having an elder brother who's a superstar in the same field of him, how does this make him feel? This was asked by yours truly, Vamshi.
Okay. See, I try and separate myself from his journey. I'm actually very sort of like this mixed bag space because I didn't grow up within the industry, but I'm still a product of like nepotism. I don't say nepotism in a gray angle. I think it's positive because for me it is positive, right? So I grew up like 25 years away from the industry. And then the last 2-3 years, I'm within the industry.
Yeah.
So I've seen both the worlds. I've seen a lot of people when they talk about Anand Devarakonda, the negative comments that come are, it almost feels like I've been sitting in the aisle waiting for my brother to become an actor. Avidanda, నేను వచ్చేస్తా అన్నట్టు మాట్లాడేస్తారు.
People can be so mean kada.
Yeah. But it's not that, right?
Yeah.
I had my own different journey. Even Vijay didn't have
Yeah.
it. I had my own. So, but when it comes to cinema and the kind of films that I'm doing, it's definitely, I'm trying to separate myself. Vijay has a Liger, which is what made in so many crores film. This is just
But
five.
in Liger రావడానికి కూడా he had to do a few
Yeah, of
ముందు
course.
ఉన్నాయి కదా.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that since he's already there,
Yeah.
that I am almost like
Yeah.
75%
Yeah.
there. It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
I'm still like 5-10% there. So it's definitely nice to have someone to look up to, also get some advice from. But the only advice I've gotten so far is have fun.
Okay, so you're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarvani asks, how does he deal with all the attention his brother's getting?
He was always wanting to play to the largest audience. Even when he was doing theater, I think he said it a few times, that when he saw theater as in plays
Yeah,
and
I know.
drama,
Yeah.
if he saw like a few empty seats, he would feel bad on stage. So it's the same thing. Like if he's playing to the widest audience, that gives him so much. I see that in him, and I'm happy for him.
Nagraj asks, few fans like me definitely expecting Pushpaka Vimanam sequel. Will that happen?
I don't think it's not in the works. If I'm answering that guy, it's not in the works at all. But maybe if it worked like an Andhadhun, definitely would have had it.
So Cine Fellow is asking, please just bring out his email ID where we can pitch scripts and synopsis to him.
Oh. I'll try and share it on my Instagram bio. I'll do that.
Yeah, that will work. Mulugu Subramanya asks, he's a great dancer. Why don't he consider a great musical in his next movie?
I'm dancing some challenging dance stuff in my next film. Look forward to that. We have already shot it, so I can confidently talk about it.
So it was lovely chatting with you and so nice to know you.
Yeah. Lovely talking to you.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was lovely
We
talking.
can't wait to watch Highway on 19th August.
Yes, on AHA. Yes, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hi, I'm Anand Devarakonda. Please subscribe to Film Companions Hub.